So yesterday I'm in town, went to go visit some family, and I was in an area that I used to work at, and this is like 2 years ago. I haven't been in there for God knows how long. I'd like to see the crew, so I go in, and most of the people I wanted to see were there. A couple I didn't get to see is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. And I thought, why, why is it that we can't take coworkers from every job that we've had that we love and just why can't they be with us at all times? And it just got me thinking, if I was a trazillionaire, I would probably start some random company, and I'd pay all of my good coworkers that I've liked to kind of be like, all right, what are you good at? you know I don't know. I know it's random, but it just made me think. And it's a very nostalgia is a really crazy thing. It can just make you so sad and so just upset about the times that you used to have. And I understand that you're supposed to not live in the past and keep moving forward, and that's great, and that's true. But then you think of things and you can't even go back to that time period. You always hear about people. If I had like a time machine, I'd go back to this time, I'd go back to here, whatever. And I think that, sure, we all want to go check out the pyramids and that kind of stuff when it was going on, but I really think the majority of us would want to just go back to a specific time in our lifetime. Go back and maybe try something again. Go and, you know, reconnect that friendship, whatever it may be. And it's weird how nostalgia is really such a powerful force that can just, rock you to your core. It makes you wonder, it's like, am I going to see these people again? Because, I didn't expect to see them the other day, and I'm glad I did. But yesterday, and it's great, and I love it and all that, but it's very, you know the world has like a tricky way of doing things. You'll be, you know haven't seen so and so, then you'll see him like 2 months later, but then you won't see him for another 6 years. It's weird. And I just I wonder why we can't all, you know why we can't all live on the same street, why we can't all live in the same house, whatever it is. I mean, I know it's foolish to think that, and it's a little crazy, but I like the idea of being able to see people that I really enjoy seeing, as opposed to, you go to a new job or whatever, and you check something out, and it's like, yeah, these people, yeah, they're fine and whatever, and you'll probably bond with like at least one or two of them sincerely. But it's just a bummer when, you have to see stuff from the past. And I think that's like a lot of advertising is very good at using nostalgia to well, I think Dwight on The Office said, he's like, what's the most powerful human weakness is nostalgia. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it probably is, man. And I mean, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to go back in time. Like I said, even in their life, I wouldn't know anyone that wouldn't want to go back and not even change anything, just like be there again. Check this out. Maybe look at it in a different perspective. All of us walking around like the ghosts of Christmas present, past, and future. um, you know, Bob Marley on our shoulders, rocking out freaking Ebenezer Scrooge in this place. But it is upsetting when you think about things, and if something changes so dramatically that it can't be replicated, even if you tried in the present. It's just it's hard when you realize that memories are just going to become memories, and they're not. You can't live through them. You can remember them, obviously, and cherish them, and that's great and everything, and it makes you think of uh, you know times that you had with a friend or a family member, a loved one, whatever it may be. But also, we got to live in the present. We got to live in the now, and that's a really hard one for me to do, is because I think of the past often, and I know a lot of people do, and I'd say probably gather to say most people do, and it's just unfortunate that we can't live there sometimes. Just for a day, it's weird. I'm going off on a weird tangent with that one, but you know, the other thing it's just crazy. It's nuts to think about how you know even how life changes plans on you. You may think when I was a little kid, my whole thing was I was gonna be at one point I was gonna be like an artist, drawer, painter, that kind of thing. Thanks to Pappy Druitt, I was also gonna be Indiana Jones. But I think the first real job that I ever wanted that I was really gonna try was after watching Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. I wanted to be a director. I wanted to make something that monumental. And I mean, I guess by definition, I'm directing my own crap here, but this isn't anything. This is nothing. I mean, this isn't even a speck on the spectrum. So we're talking, and what exactly? Where do our dreams die? I mean, do we all just you know do we just wake up one day and it's like, all right, you win, world. It's not going to happen, and it's sad. It makes me think of you know all of the times you have as a kid, and when you run into friends and you haven't seen forever, and it brings you back to that spot. I'm rocking a Star Wars shirt because Star Wars is awesome, and I always will. But you know, it makes me think back to when I thought Luke Skywalker was the coolest thing in the world. He still is, but it's a different thing when you're 9 and 10 years old or whatever, and then when you look at it in a perspective as an adult, and you really, the world kind of, smacks you in the face with reality, and it's just disheartening and sad, and you don't you don't want to wake up from the dream you're in, because in nostalgia land it's all nicer, and in the past it's always better, and it is. No matter how, I always feel like no matter how, not always. I'm not for Because for people that are recovering addicts or whatever, their past isn't. I mean, at least not part of their past is good. But I mean, I'm talking like the normal everyday. Didn't mean to say it like that because that just sounded harsh, but that's not what I meant. I guess what I'm trying to say is when you look back and you see pictures, and it's like, I haven't seen so and so for 20 years. I haven't seen so and so for 5 months, and sometimes I get that my best friend doesn't even live in the same state as me anymore, so I gotta call him, and it's not like a driving state. I mean, it's I gotta call him, and that's great. We still have a great relationship, but I don't see him, and it's weird how when you think that life's gonna go one way, and it just gobsmacks you right in the face, and it's not even. Not only is it not going that way, like you're not even in that universe anymore. You're just a whole different ball game away from what you thought you were going to try. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes people realize their dreams or whatever they end up doing, and that's great. But sometimes, we just get hit with this harsh reality of life, and I mean, I think every one of us has at some point. So it's the matter of when do we kind of how do we reconcile who we are, where we're going, with what we thought we were and where we wanted to go. If you're not doing that anymore, if you're not really in that world of what you thought you were going to try to do, I don't know. It's just food for thought, and I just was kind of getting all sappy and nostalgic about life like everybody does. But, on the positive note, we got a month, Halloween's coming, and we'll be. That's the other thing, man. It makes me. I'll end with this. Michael Scott in one of the Office episodes, he says something about, fall is the most contemplative uh, season, and I'm like, yeah, It is. He's right. I get all nostalgic in the fall because I think of Halloween and trick or treating and kids' times, and and I've always been a horror nut, like I'll mention a million times more. But I get, I still get all like, "Ooh, it's Halloween time," and I genuinely mean it. I'm all excited, but I don't know. Just just foolish rambling by me again. But I'll check you back next time. Later.